She's over here laughing, but hey, I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. Stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Now, leading things off, our first guest is a friend of corrections and a friend of the show, and she's just a friend of our wonderful community. She's a former correction officer and successful author. She's a screenwriter, playwright, and a proud Bronx native. So please welcome our wonderful young lady. But she also happens to be the producer of Keyware Show, the Keyware Show, broadcast right here at BronxNet TV, and the director of the recently debuted play, Love Conquers All. Mm-hmm. And it was a blast, and it was all of that and a bag of chips and more to the top. And so she's here to speak about her brand new book, Miseries, and so much more. So please welcome to the show, Keisha Mayo. Keisha Mayo's in the house, y'all. At home and in the studio, yeah. How are you? Nice to see you.
Doing?
Now look at that. We're kicking it right off.
Kicking it off with Misery.
We're kicking it off.
Yes.
Ah. But wait a minute, before we get into the book, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're all about. You have a show here.
Yes.
You're a former correction officer.
Yes.
So you corrected a lot of people. And people still come up to you and still say, hey, I remember the work that you've done, when I was a little down and out. Thank you for all that you do and continue to do.
Yes, and that means a lot. It lets you know that your living is not in vain. But before that, thank you so much for always having me on the show. Always supporting me. I really appreciate it. I mean, this has been years now, and you always believed in me. And I thank God for you, Dr. Lee. You've been a blessing to me. But it feels good to know that your living is not in vain. The work that you do is not in vain. The gifts and the talents that God gives you is to help somebody else. It's not for us. It's not to try to become famous and all this other stuff. Is about helping someone else, who may be going through the way you went through or just going through, period. But you're able to let them know that there's hope. There's hope. There's hope in Jesus. There's hope, in life. You don't have to give up.
No.
You don't have to commit suicide. You don't have to, listen, people get to that point. I've been there, but the Bible says, he come to give us life and that more abundantly. So I'm looking for abundant life now.
Yes.
But I had to go through what I had to go through because it brought me to where I am today.
So when people go to that line, they step up to that point where they think that, life is not worth living. From your experience, what can you do from that point? Because people have different angles and...
Well, I know what brought me through is being raised in the church all my life, and knowing that, God can do anything. He can do anything but fail. Just give your life to him, and so many people, and there's a lot of people that grew up in church, but, after you grow up in church, you go your own way. Yeah. That's why the Bible says you train up a child in the way it should go. When they get old, they won't depart. Because we all going to go through something once you get older and you start living this thing called life. You're going to have to go back to those old roots and, and remember what you learned, because God will get you through, and I had to totally trust and depend on him. I couldn't rely on grandma's prayers no more. I couldn't rely on mama prayers no more. I had to build that relationship with God myself.
But they gave you the foundation.
They
so
gave
you can
me the
reserve, I have a strong foundation to stand on. My house is not built on sand.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I would just encourage, people. I know everybody is not a Christian, but just letting them know whoever you believe in.
Yeah.
This is who I believe in, but whoever you believe in, that source, you got to truly trust and believe that they can bring you out. You can't just speak things and just say it. You got to really believe and really have faith, knowing that all things are going to work together for your good.
That's right. Now, what can you share with us about your stage play, Love Conquers All?
Did we not have a ball?
I'm just saying it. But I'm trying to let you say it, though.
Right. Oh,
Look,
I tell you.
You have my crying girl over there.
Right, you see her, right?
Who's my crying girl?
Tiffany.
Tiffany's in the house.
Tiffany in the house. But I tell you, that play was amazing.
No, you're supposed to marry me.
You did an amazing job, though, Dr. Lee. Amazing job.
I was directed by you. I said,
Amen.
does this work? Does this work? This work? No, you're doing too much. No, dude, bring it down like this. Okay. All right.
I mean, people are still talking about it.
Yeah, yeah.
So we looking to do it again June
I hear
2027.
people, they're asking when you're going to do it
Yes,
again.
and I wanted to do it before then, but I'm doing a Christmas play for my church. It's called The Week Before Christmas.
Ooh.
And that's going to be in December.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I had to, do that, and then we can do our play again.
Yeah, we're going to have to go see that one too.
And could you imagine selling out twice?
That's what
500
God
seater?
does.
That's what God does. He's showing
You know,
out.
but you know,
And the lives that's being saved.
yes, yes. And I told you, we were talking earlier, and we keep bringing this up about the Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
I was doing the voice to a lot of his stuff at the Beacon Theater, and they weren't always packed,
I know.
but they began to get packed later on. It didn't happen from right off the bat.
Right.
So for you to tell everybody that you are selling these shows and me watching that, I'm saying you are following in those footsteps.
Amen.
And I think, you can do something with it. Even, hey, shoot for the stars.
Right. And what I love most is a lot of people wait for people to do things for them. I'm not waiting for nobody. If God gives me the vision and God shows me what to do, I go after it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you see I'm going to go
Yeah,
get it.
no,
I
you
go,
can't wait for a darn thing.
No.
I said
so
darn, though.
whatever door, whatever door open or when God allows that door to open, I'm going to run in there, But in the meantime, I'm going to keep pushing and keep doing my plays, my books, my singing, whatever it is, I'm going to keep working.
Your plays, your books, and here it is.
Misery.
Misery.
It'll be out August 22nd.
Beautiful.
And these are true stories. These are my testimonies of what I went through and how I overcame.
I was going to actually give us a quick synopsis of what's in the book and what's
well, this is based off of what I went through, how I was blackballed, how I was retaliated against, harassed, and all of that good stuff in the Department of Corrections, the things that I went through where somebody else probably wouldn't have made it. And it even goes back to deceive where somebody wouldn't have made it. God allowed me to get through that thing.
Yeah.
And being Barnes and Noble's going on 60 times with one book,
Woo.
And now looking at Misery, somebody, and this is only volume 1. There's 3 volumes to this book.
Ooh, all
so
right.
I had to go through it. I didn't understand it then, but I definitely understand it now.
Wow.
And it is definitely not for me.
What do you
It's for
see now
somebody
that
else.
you didn't see before?
I think I didn't trust God to get me through it because I was so beat down. And I don't know if anybody ever been blackballed before. Y'all hear Monique's story and different people, but that's a horrible thing because that's you against everybody, and that's a big agency, and wherever you go, you being attacked everywhere, so. I was
What do they call it now?
depending-
Write-off? Or what do they call it now? Blackball?
I call it blackball.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a new name to it.
When somebody, what are they, guys up in the studio, how do they say that? Somebody's crossed out or blacklisted or?
Blacklisted. I've heard that terminology.
Yeah, but there's something else more related to, all cyber stuff and all that stuff. Canceled.
Cancel.
Yes,
That
yes.
cancel culture stuff.
Right, cancel
okay.
culture. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but listen, no matter what you try to do.
You was going through
when
it.
God, I was going through. I was going through.
Yeah.
Yeah, but God brought me through. I was going through, and God brought me through.
Taking you to it and
Allowed
taking
me
you
to
through it.
retire, and gave me my desire back, gave me my dream back, and just out there, just trying to be a blessing to people. Letting them know they could make it. Listen, if God brought me through that, they could come through.
Yeah.
They could
You
come
weren't
through.
working regular corrections. You were working in a certain department, but you don't have to go deep into it or anything
No,
like
I was
that.
in the jails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the jails.
But when you working investigative something or something like that, you said?
No, I was trying to get there.
Oh, okay. But you got your pension, you're good to go. All right, so we're going to put
God
that
is
back there.
awesome.
We
Yeah.
came through it.
Yeah.
You overcame it.
Yes.
You're on top.
Yeah, nobody but God.
Yeah.
Nobody but him.
Who do you put under your feet?
Satan's on
Yeah.
my feet. Yeah. under my feet.
So we're
you know,
working
God
on
brought me a mighty long way, and I just thank God that I'm in my right mind.
Yeah.
You know, we take
God will
certain
turn
things
people
for
out, yeah.
granted. We take things for granted, but people lose their minds today.
They surely
Don't you
do.
see people taking 2 steps forward, 5 back? Not to be funny. But
but
people are
no, it's
losing
true.
them. Things
Yeah.
are happening. So I thank God that I'm in my right mind, that I'm still able to do the things that He's allowing me to do.
Yeah. And Mom
just
was
amazing.
puzzled too because she didn't know you was going through
Oh, I
this.
never told her. Even with Deceive, I tend to go through alone. Why? I don't want to bother people with my stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't want to put pressure on people. My mom, I don't want them to deal with, so I kind of,
You absorbed
and,
all of that stuff.
and that's a bad, and I always tell people that's a bad way, if I'm looking at the camera, that's a bad way to go through. Talk to somebody.
Yeah.
I felt like I went through longer than I should have. If I would have just spoke to somebody, we think we the only one going through things, there's nothing new under the sun. Somebody been through it, so we'd be able to help somebody else. So I wish I would have spoken to somebody sooner, but I just didn't. And when Mommy read the book, both books, she was just,
She said, "What, baby?
yeah.
Let's sit down and talk."
Yeah, she was very upset.
Yeah. But she understands the whole thing now. Right?
And what I love too is my niece, my first book, because when you're going through, a lot of times you go through these mood swings, but nobody understands why. One day you may be down and depressed, another day you're happy. And after my niece read the book, my Deceive, she said, "Auntie, now I understand you. Now I understand."
They put two and two together.
Now they understand. And that's the same thing that I want people to realize, even with this book. Whatever you thought, because a lot of people judge you based off how you look, what you got on, this, that, different things. They don't know what's going on in here. Or if you're quiet, like I'm pretty much quiet, I don't talk that much. I'm better now. Before you couldn't get me to talk. Look, now you can't shut me up. But I mean, there's still sometimes where I'm quiet, but read right.
Yeah.
Ask for discernment. See what's really going on with the person. Stop judging people off of what you see, but get to know the person.
Exactly.
Exactly. So after you read, then you're like, wow. I remember with Deceive, I would have people say, "You really went through that? Or you made that up?" No, I went through that.
Yeah.
God allows me to go through, and I just, right.
And it's in His timing.
Who's been in Barnes and Noble 60 times?
You.
With one book.
You. So wait a minute, we have another Barnes and Noble date coming up.
Yes.
When's that book signing?
August 22nd.
August 22nd. Let's write it down.
August 22nd.
August 22nd. Where's it going to be?
And it's going to be at Barnes and Noble's 381 North Central Avenue in Yonkers. So right on Central Avenue. And it's going to start at 12 o'clock. I'll be there all day pretty much.
It's an all-day book signing?
Well, listen, you know
out.
me. Exactly. Keisha's the sellout girl. I like to sell out with everything that I'm doing.
Sell out plays, sell out books.
Yeah. So I love to sell out. So I'll be there.
So when you sell out, I'm going to have a truckload of books right behind you and say, "Hey, can you sell these out too?"
Right. Listen, I try to push the sell out. That's my goal.
Oh,
and I guess that's why Barnes and Nobles love me, because I go there and I work.
Yeah. And we're going to put you on our next book, People to Know in Black History and Beyond. Not just people whose shoulders we stood on to get where we need to go today, but people who are still doing extraordinary things today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So we need to put you in that book. Volume, let me see, I got volume 1, 2, 3, 4. Volume 5 I'm working on right now.
Oh, awesome.
See, I'm one of those silent guys too.
Okay.
Gary Bird came up to me and said, "Where do you get the opportunity to write all these books? And you running in the community, you're not sleeping."
Right.
I said, "I'm writing it while I'm sleeping." I get an idea and I write it down and keep it going.
Listen, you mentioned about Tyler Perry, you doing background voice overs and stuff like that. Why don't you invite him for June?
We should invite him for June.
Maybe you could get to him.
Well, I did get to him at one time. Well, he came down to Al Sharpton's event and I had the opportunity to talk to him. Very nice brother, down to earth and everything. And he took the camera and said, "Come on." He took some selfies and all that stuff. I said, "All right, there you go." But he's a very down to earth brother. I like his style. I like what he's doing. Also, not only for himself, but for the community, and and encouraging and putting people to work, encouraging people to continue to do the things that they need to do in order to become successful. I like his style. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think he would love Love Conquers All.
I think he would. He may say, "Hey, man, can I put my name on that?" You didn't see that part? She did something like this. Oh no, I gotta go get my nails cut.
Right.
Yeah. So you
But that
got
would be
this.
nice.
So what's happening after the book signing? You got the play coming up in December.
The Christmas play coming up in December, yeah. So I'll be really promoting Misery. Like I said, this is only volume 1. There's 3 volumes. I believe I'm going to put the second volume out maybe 2 months after that. And every 2 months I'll come out with the next volume.
Oh, good. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. And this is
that's my
this
goal.
is no eye. This is coming out of the brain. Because
This is coming out of experience and what I went through.
yeah. This is a lot. This was in her brain. Brain stuff.
Yes.
And
yes.
this will help people because
There's people that lost hope. They're losing hope, or they're going through blackballed. That's a horrible thing to deal with.
And not only
Where-
from the Department of Correct, but in a
anywhere,
lot of different jobs. Yeah.
Anywhere. Yeah, you can be blackballed anywhere, the hospital, whatever.
Yeah.
People don't like you for whatever reason. You don't try to fit in.
Yeah.
You're not in the clique. You're not. It's hard.
Because sometimes we get rid of the clique.
Yeah,
Or
but
one
it's a
person
lot
in
in
the
there.
clique.
It's a lot in there. It's not just what I'm talking now. It's a lot. It's a page turner just like Deceive. And I remember one time I was saying to my mother with Deceive, I said, "Ma, why is everybody saying they can't put the book down? Like, because I'm hard on myself."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Because you didn't write that book." And when I look at it, it was all
God
God.
wrote that book.
Yeah, because I remember being in Barnes& Noble's one time.
I got 30 seconds.
You got 30 seconds. Okay, Barnes & Noble one time, and this woman came in and didn't speak English. And she prophesied to me, saying that the Spirit of the Lord told her to come in Barnes & Noble. And she said, "Your book, Deceive, will never stop."
Woo!
So every testimony that God has given me has been like page turners.
And you can get this on
And you could get
Barnes &
that
Noble,
Barnes
but your
&
website.
Noble. You could get it on
Social media.
Amazon. My website, KeishaMayo.com. You can go all 3 of those places or wherever books are sold and get. But it's not until August 22nd. It's not going to be released until August 22nd.
There you go. Keisha, thank you
So
so
I would love
much.
for y'all to come to Barnes & Noble's on Central Avenue.
There you go. Keisha Mayo, producer, playwright, and author. She's doing her thing. And always come back. This is your house, too.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
The Dr.
you.
Vobley will take a quick break. I've got more open. It's all coming your way next.